Hello YTPC, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we've got some more morsels for mental manducation. But first, my little leather wrapped Pipe by Lee apple, I've got some Mac Baron Navy Flake. It's a nice burly base. It's got some Virginia sprinkled in and some Cavendish and a light rum topping. Does not overpower the tobacco. All right, let's dive in. A study released just a couple weeks ago by the CDC covered months and months of mask mandates and restaurant restrictions. What did it find? It found that mask mandates and restaurant restrictions decreased COVID infection and mortality rates by at most 2%. Let that sink in a bit. I'll have the link below so y'all can read it for yourself. If you dig through the statistical jargon, you'll find these gems. Daily case and death growth rates before implementation of mask mandates were not statistically different from the reference period. And daily death growth rates before restaurant restrictions were lifted were not statistically different from those during the restaurant or the reference period. No statistical difference. Why are we still doing it? Beating a dead horse, mostly because it's important for our next round of elections. Of 600,000 mail-in ballots gathered in Georgia, 400,000 of them did not have the required legal chain of custody documentation. Were they counted anyway? You bet they were. The gift that keeps on giving. Mainstream media and its cable news sidekicks. MSNBC's Joy Reid commented on Republican Tim Scott opposing the $15 minimum wage. And I quote, "You gotta love Tim Scott standing there to provide the patina of diversity." Seriously? If you can even imagine a world in which a white conservative had made such a racist statement and was still employed, you found yourself some good leaf. Share it with us. This $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill has $4 billion in it to help small farmers who've been devastated by this entire mess. Well, small farmers, as long as you're not white. Unions, you gotta love them. They get what they deserve. United Auto Union, the United Auto Workers Union, UAW, threw its support behind Joe Biden in this last election. Now, last year, Ford was in contract negotiations to build a new plant in Ohio. Foreseeing the massive tax hikes that the current administration would like to implement, Ford has changed its mind, is going to build the plant in Mexico. Gotta love it. You know, it's kind of like the back of those old shampoo bottles: lather, rinse, repeat, just over and over again. Part of a bill being pushed through Congress right now contains some pretty restrictive anti-voter ID requirements. It would basically make voter ID illegal, requiring ID for voting. Congressman Burgess Owens has been very vocal in his dislike for this bill, particularly the voter ID requirements. On Twitter, he was called out for supporting these racist voter ID requirements. The beauty of all of this, of course, is that if you know who he is, Owens is black. And in his own words, you know what's racist? Assuming, because I'm black, that I just don't have the capability of getting an ID. Disclaimer, we are capable of getting an ID and even using the internet. Lastly, just over the weekend, in the Rio Grande Valley sector of our southern border, Border Patrol has begun releasing illegal immigrants without any longer setting a court date for them to appear to justify their presence. Their excuse is that they're overwhelmed. Well, in our history, our border has never been overwhelmed. This is something new. I wonder why. Now, the real reason that we all know, but no one will say out loud, is that these people weren't going to be sent home anyway. Under the current administration in particular, they are all going to be released. What I want to know is this. For the last year, we have been required to go around wearing masks. We haven't been able to run small businesses in particular. But our admin is releasing tens of thousands of illegal immigrants into the country without COVID testing or quarantining them. I thought we were in the middle of a pandemic. How does that protect us? Truth is, it doesn't. They don't care. Now, if you don't think those last two items are linked, you're really not paying attention. You see, one of our parties is importing what will eventually likely wind up to be hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants who tend to vote left because they come from failed socialist states and they expect the government to do some heavy lifting for them. That same party doesn't want us to be able to require voter ID to verify that people who are here are allowed to vote. And they want automatic voter registration based on things like getting a driver's license, which in many states illegals can do now. The dots are really not all that hard to connect. Finally, I want to leave you with a quote. Don't remember where I saw it, but I really like it. Some people drink from the well of knowledge. Others just rinse and spit. With that, folks, light something you like. If you don't think you like Burleys, but you like Virginia-based navies, you might like this Mac Baren Navy cut, Navy flake. I do. Enjoy your afternoon.